Hello there gang and welcome to Displaying Model Behaviour. Let's dispense with the intro because we've got a lot to talk about. Boom! Hasbro just dropped or launched their new HasLab for 2023. It's GiantHAM just as we all predicted and people seem pretty pleased with it. That's the news story. We don't hate this. In fact, it looks pretty good. And in that, we're kind of disappointed, I think, because people love a car crash. And last year, that's pretty much literally what we got with the Hellcharger. That was a car crash. And everything that happened with extra tiers and new characters and things that we wanted but ultimately wouldn't get, it just added more and more fuel to this burning inferno of ridiculous awfulness that was just a gold mine for clickbait YouTubers. And this year, we got nothing to go on. This is okay. That's it. See you next year. But that genuinely is the case. This is $200 for a standalone GiantHAM. No special figures locked behind tiers or anything. Pretty much what you see is what you get. And the general consensus around the audience seems to be, yeah, okay. The only problem, and it's not really a problem, but it is interesting, is just the fact that it's hard to justify this as a HasLab. That's the only thing that makes Hasbro look bad in this instance, is just the fact that it's a $200 figure and he's not really any bigger or anything than, what are they called, leader class Transformers? I don't know my different Transformers subgenres, but basically there are plenty of toys and action figures on store shelves that are of a similar size and proportion to this. I thought the same thing when I saw the Deathsaurus HasLab from last year. I was like, why is this need to be crowdfunded? This is the same sort of thing that we're already getting on store shelves. So that's the only caveat there, is it kind of exposes that this doesn't need to be crowdfunded. This doesn't need to be a HasLab. This is just Hasbro going, we want to take all of your money and keep it for a year and not run even the tiniest little thimbleful of risk that we might not make our money back on this project. And it's like, hey, look, we as consumers, we run risks every day, just in our workaday lives. And Hasbro being a big multi-billion-dollar corporation, they're like, yes, but we don't want to run risks. And I get it. And as much as, you know, global corporations, they're not human beings. They are run by one thing, maths, dollars and cents. And they're going to do what they can do to maximize their profits. And that means crowdfunding things, which is kind of lame. But what's not lame is GiantHAM. He looks really good. And my only sort of worry, concern, little caveat, besides what I just said, is the fact that I assume he is going to fund. I really, really do. But right now, the backers have kind of slowed. And maybe that is people wanting to hold fire and wait to see if they do offer anything else. But we have been told, like, straight up, there are no plans for extra tiers. There are little tiers. One is a zombie face, and the other one is a Skrull face, which people do want. Actually, are they tiers? They are tiers, I think. I'll double check that. I'll put a little inscription thing below just to confirm. But we've got 3 set faces that are going to come with the figure. We've got neutral, and scary diddler smile. And all of those look really, really good. This is a good looking GiantHAM. He's almost, the problem is he's too big. It's funny, I keep saying the one problem about different things. There are many the one problems, but I'm actually fishing for problems because this isn't very problematic. And that's a good thing. Hasbro have given us everything that we asked for. We said we don't want sought after action figures locked behind tiers. And they said, okay, we learned our lesson. We're not going to do that. And we said that we don't want the base price to factor in the tiers, because that's BS. The whole point of tiers is they're meant to be bonuses. And they're like, okay, $200, boom, plain. What you see is what you get. If there are any tiers, they're going to be like little bonus things. They're not actually super enticing. And it's tricky when you get what you ask for, because then I've got nothing to moan about. I'm just kind of happy. But the thing is, again, GiantHAM, for the 5th or 6th time now, the thing is, GiantHAM doesn't need to be this big. And that's what makes me think maybe people might go, I don't need to spend $200 on a 24-inch Giant Man. Ideally, Giant Man, he shouldn't be towering over Galactus. Galactus should still be the big bad. You could have made this guy a deluxe figure for half the price and half the size, and that still would have satisfied, I think, most Avengers collectors. We would have gone, okay, well, he still towers over the other Avengers, so that's fine. But instead, we're going ham with this Giant Man. He's GiantHAM, is what he is. they've gone GiantHAM with this guy. He's huge, but again, he's gonna look great in your display, whether he's grappling with Galactus or he's just kind of kneeling down with the Avengers around him, someone in his hand, Wasp and the Sky Cycle flying around. It's gonna look great if it funds. Hopefully it will do. They got my money. I'm down to clown with this. I'm absolutely fine. As I said, the only thing it shows is just the kind of dubious nature of it being crowdfunded, because I don't think it needs to be. But I'm not going to throw any other kind of barbs at it because it's a reasonable figure for a reasonable price. I really do think some people are saying, oh, 200 is still too expensive. Hey, look, in Shangri-La, I'd love to have this for 150 or something. But when you also look at what different figures cost, how much plastic and tooling goes into a normal 6-inch figure that costs $30, this is like you're extrapolating the money as to what that would cost. 200 is actually not that unreasonable. So, you know, it's got highs and lows, and I know that this is the internet, so if I say that it's a great deal, then I'm a Marvel shill, and if I say that it's awful, then I'm a hater. So I'm just trying to, it's getting a little uncomfortable sitting on the fence here. I really need to pad it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not sitting on the fence because I'm talking with my wallet. I'm going to put down my $200. You've got my order. And yeah, other people seem to be pretty happy with that too. So I won't belabor the point. I think I've done that already. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the HasLab. I like it. It's a little underwhelming just because we like big. That's the thing. We hate tiers in that we hate figures being locked behind tiers. We hate having to say, oh, well, maybe it'll be worth the price if the tiers are good. But you know what that does though? It gives us a month. It gives us a solid month of juicy entertainment and debate and name calling and bickering and he said, she said, and all this kind of stuff. And it feels like Christmas where we're like, oh, what's the next tier gonna be? And we're watching the numbers tick up in the hope that we're gonna meet another tier and find out what it is. And we don't have that. And that is a good thing. It is a good thing. They literally said, the HasLab team, they said the figures that you want, like your Wasp and your Yellow Jacket, they didn't say specifically, but they said rather than doing figures in tiers, we're going to do them as single releases. We're going to put them out in waves. You're going to be able to buy them directly. Again, that's exactly what we want, but it's kind of disappointing that it's just not the excitement that comes with your other kind of HasLab campaigns, where it's a big storm in a teacup and we just get to have a bit of drama. Because I don't know about you, but me, I love drama. Not that I ever try to instigate it here, but nonetheless, it's a good looking campaign. You got my money. Double thumbs up for that. And in other toy news, because there are other action figures being put out as well, Hiya Toys have shown a full reveal of their Rambo 1/12 scale figure. $90, second quarter of next year. And kind of like I was saying with the HasLab, that's almost half the price of the HasLab, and you're talking about a 6-inch figure. And people can attach value to different things in different ways, but I'm just saying. What I will also say, though, is that it's a good-looking figure. I mean, this is Sylvester Stallone right here in full-on Rambo guise, and he does look good. I mean, the facial recreation, it's bang on, man. It's bang on. And also the actual joints of the figure, it looks like he's got great articulation, some lovely cloth goods on here as well. If you know what, just looking at this guy, I'm thinking, man, you could fudge him into a G.I. Joe display as like a special operative. That's kind of fun. That's always what gets my juices flowing, what mashes my potatoes when I think about bringing him in. I imagine like a guest star if G.I. Joe was a TV series of action figures, it would be on G.I. Joe this week, guest starring Rambo. Already I'm having fun with this. And look at this image. This is pretty much how I would display him, with the kind of lips like this, and with the flaming Molotov cocktail. Yeah, the more I'm looking at this, the more I like it. And I know that these are beautiful photography, not CGI, but you know what I mean, Photoshop type things. But here you go. This is a more basic look. I dig it, man. I really dig it. I can't remember the relevance of this big jade necklace. I don't remember how that features in Rambo, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. It looks nice. It looks really nice. And this is going to be available the second quarter of next year. So if you like your Mezco style sort of figures, this is going to fall into that kind of category. And yeah, I actually I think this guy looks cool. Sticking with the 80s, but going way more cute and cuddly, Nendroid, Good Smile Company, are doing a little E.T. And just look at this little guy. Isn't he just adorable? E.T. ruled the world in the mid-80s, and I'm just about old enough to remember. And now we're getting all this nostalgia coming in, and Nendroid, with their cutesy, chibi sort of style, they've kind of nailed it with E.T. here. And I mean, lucky they did, because they're charging $60 for him, which is kind of the standard Nendroid price. These things are always expensive, but they're also kind of adorable as well. If I was going to get one, I was really taken by the Onion Knight when I saw him. I haven't even played. Is it Dark Souls where he appears? Wherever he does. I saw the little Onion Knight guy and I was like, I just love you. You're just bizarre looking. And E.T., he looks freaking adorable. Just like John Rambo, he's going to be available in the second quarter of next year. So look out for him if you want to recreate some 80s cuteness, because yeah, this guy, he pretty much does it. Yeah, the more I look at him, he's adorable. Diamond Select Toys have shown some images of their upcoming Rebel Moon figures. So Rebel Moon, in case you're unfamiliar, is Zack Snyder's newest movie, coming straight to Netflix, going to premiere on December 22nd. And that's not always a bad thing. There are some banging Netflix exclusive movies. Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. If you've not watched that, that's a good time. And this is basically pitched as Zack Snyder's Star Wars movie. If he was going to make a Star Wars movie, which I think there were rumblings of at some point, but it never happened, this is the style, the look, this is what he would have done with Star Wars, which is also kind of pitched as like, well, it's Star Wars with swearing, which might be the case. I mean, that alone is not enough to sell me, but I'm always open-minded. But I'm not going to dive into anything without hearing some reviews and stuff. I don't have the time. I wish I had more time. I'd love to be playing Horizon on PS5, but, just the world is a Guinness in that regard. But Rebel Moon looks like it might have some potential, because it's following all the Star Wars tropes with, the human protagonists and aliens and robots and droids and all that kind of fun stuff. So Select are going to get in it, like, right at the start. They're like, okay, we're going to lock down this license and we're going to do some stuff with it. Is this going to take off and be a big thing? I don't know. I mean, Star Wars itself, they're the big dog and they're struggling. But maybe that does mean that actually audiences want something like Star Wars, but, good. So if Rebel Moon can fill that hole, well, that would be great. But Zack Snyder, he's got a patchy track record with some terrifying highs and dizzying lows. So where's this going to land? Well, we'll find out at the end of the year. Super 7 are going into the 1/6 scale of action figures, and they're doing it with Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star, and that's all the info we have, and a little preview picture here to go with him. And I mean, like, just from this one posed, stylized black and white picture, he looks pretty cool, but that's all we can say. We don't know anything else, and by we I mean me, because I'm a one-man show here, baby. No one else on the bass, no one else on the keys, just me. And I'm not a 1/6 scale person, and this is a terrible thing to have to admit, but I've never actually watched Fist of the North Star. But before you tell me in the comments that, oh my goodness, you have to watch Fist of the North Star, believe me, I know. Apparently it's awesome, and maybe this will finally encourage me to watch it. But yeah, hopefully we'll get more pictures soon, and we'll see what Storm have done with this guy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are getting the Mega Bloks treatment from 52 Toys, and this is a fun, kitsch, unusual little side project for the Turtles. They've done everything else and appeared in every other form, so why not transform them into a block? Exactly. No reason. For $61 each, you can get these guys, and that does seem quite expensive, but hey, you know, I'm sure that some folks see these and they're like, yes, whatever it is, that little nostalgic itch, it's scratching it. Plus, if you transform Michelangelo and Donatello into blocks and you can put them together, you got yourself a little party wagon. So that's a nice little feature to have. For me, you can probably guess, this isn't my cup of tea. This isn't my forte. However, for folks out there, you can pre-order them on Big Bad Toy Store. $61.99. Again, 4 of those, the 4 turtles, are going to cost more than a HasLab Giant Man. So, you know, come at me, bro, if you're saying Giant Man's overpriced. Maybe he is. Maybe everything's overpriced. Maybe I'm just an old goober who remembers when things used to be cheaper, and I'm like, well, this is the world we live in now. Nonetheless, though, guys, go check these out, because, yeah, not for me, but still, might be for you. You want an action figure that's just going to be a big bag of nope from me? Beast Kingdom's Dancing Pennywise. Yep, they've just issued a teaser, so this is all we can see, but that's all I need to know that I don't want this guy on my shelf. I don't want this guy in my house. I don't want this guy anywhere near me. Thank you very much. Scary dancing clowns? Nah. I'm fine. If I was one of those kids living in Derry, boom, like the it creature would have no problem scaring the bejesus out of me. I would be delicious for that guy because he knows exactly how to terrify me. And yeah, scary dancing clown, done. Don't want it on my shelf. Thank you very much. But you know what? You strange little puppies out there, you might want him. And if you do, Beast Kingdom's going to provide. As soon as we got more pictures, I'll share them with you. Blitzway. Ever heard of them? I'm sure you probably have. I haven't actually. I think this is new to me. But regardless, they are making an escape pod. And this is kind of fun. This will fit your 6-inch figures and can also be used as like a cryo tube or a stasis pod or a Weapon X kind of thing. And it just looks sort of fun. I don't have a price on this yet. I need to do a little bit of extra research, but I just wanted to share this with you because it looks fun. You see the little guy in the dude's hand there? He's quite big and chunky. So this thing, it ain't small, but it looks kitsch. It looks unusual. And I don't need the little guy, but the pod. The pod looks cool. I can just imagine putting Weapon X Wolverine in there, or maybe just as anyone who's in cryo storage, basically, some Colonial Marine or something along those lines. The inside of the pod, it all lights up. Like, this is a fun, unusual little thing that, honestly, I probably would have never come across if not for Eric Fullen on the Model Behaviour Facebook group. You always find these things online, dude, and you share them. If you could find the price for me and the release date as well, like that would be super helpful, because, heaven forbid I do any research myself before putting these videos out. I know! Laziest guy on YouTube, am I right or am I right? But you can see all the different panels and pieces that unscrew and hinge, and there's a lot of love that's gone into this thing. I used to have the Halo cryo chamber for my Weapon X. That looked really cool, but this looks like a big time upgrade, and yeah, I'm gonna try and find out a little bit more about this. Premium Collectibles Studios have shown advanced images of their Ray Stan's Ghostbuster statue, and this looks kind of beautiful, and it should look kind of beautiful because it's over $600, but then again, it's 1/4 scale as well, so he's a big boy. And they haven't officially given a price yet, but they have an Egon statue already, and he's like $625, and there's 2 different versions. There's a regular one and a deluxe one, so I think this Ray's going to come in that same kind of set as well, where, yeah, you can see Egon behind him here, but you're going to get the regular one, and then the super deluxe one with a few extra accessories and bells and whistles. And I kind of like the way that they do that these days, where you can actually change and alternate different parts for statues. It makes it a little bit more action figure-y, but you know me. If you can't articulate and you can't move the arms and legs and head, then I'm not that into it. I like to feel like I'm playing with an adult version of the toy that I always wanted as a kid. And statues, you don't have that play factor. However, if you are one of those folks who just dig statues, then heck, for $600 or 3 giant men, that's the currency I use now. I just price everything in giant men. You can pick yourself up a Ray from Ghostbusters. And as far as the Dan Aykroyd likeness goes and the quality of it, I mean, it's tough to argue. These 2 guys side by side, they look pretty awesome. But dude, if you wanna build the set, that's gonna be 4 lots of 600. That's a lot of giant men. Super quick here, McFarlane have just shown a preview image of their Superpowers reverse flash figure. This is one of those little itty-bitty figures here, but there you go. I'm not going to belabor the point because that's all it is. You can see it for yourself. It's reverse flash. You'll be able to get him soon, but not yet. 5K Toys have opened pre-orders for their Hasuki, I think it is, Unknown Soldier, I think he's called, or Unknown Operative, whatever he's called. He's $64.99 and he looks pretty impressive, just as far as the amount of bells, whistles, and accoutrements that come with this guy. I don't know how stealthy he's going to be because he is loaded down with a whole lot of equipment, but you look at these things here and dang, I mean, yes, you could probably get yourself 3 Marvel Legends for the cost of this, or slightly less considering that they've gone up in price, but you see all the stuff you get and it's 1/12 scale. It's that sweet spot, baby. I love it. It feels good when you got that little guy in hand, but there's so much going on there. That's what I really like. Again, the only problem with this is the same problem that I have with G.I. Joes. I wouldn't want to get just one. I'd want to have a couple of these guys just staking out and sniping my action figure shelf, because dang it, they do look pretty wicked. Unix Square are introducing their bust generation. I love foreign companies that have crazy names. We're getting the bust generation. First up is Optimus Prime, hopefully the start of many Transformers. We don't have prices or release dates yet because this is just the example image of like, hey guys, this is what you're going to be expecting. He has expecting. That was a weird pronunciation there. My tongue kind of went into business for itself. Optimus Prime, you're not going to be lacking in detail, that's for sure. I'm not a big bust fan because I'm always like, where's the rest of it? But if you do like your busts, and joking aside, I've got a couple of busts, and actually they're wicked. I got Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Green Goblin. Fantastic. Oh, especially Ultimate Green Goblin. Man, that's a fantastic bust. And this looks nice as well. I'm guessing it's not gonna be painted, or is this no, this is probably an unpainted prototype. Yeah, because these shots, these aren't glamour shots. These are just, hey, this is what we're working on. But I love that his I'm sure it's going to be painted. Yeah, there you go. That looks a little rough, but even a little rough looks a little nice. Because, yeah, the chest compartment opens. He's got the matrix inside. Apparently, there are going to be lights and LED functions as well. So there's going to be a lot to enjoy from this guy. Do I want to start a Transformers bust collection? No, I don't. But looking at this, I wouldn't hate it if I did. Speaking of Transformers, XM Studios have shown off their Prowl at the Singapore Toy Fair. And look, y'all are gonna hate me. I know. I don't want to just give vague information. Welcome to vague behavior. But again, no words on prices, release dates, or in the case of Prowl here, even size. Because there's nothing in these photos, besides that little gentleman in the back there, that denotes how big or small this thing is. I'm hoping that guy is just far away. Because I don't want this guy to be huge. Maybe he's going to be 1/6 scale, but it's just really hard to tell. But what I can tell is that there's some gorgeous detail in here. Like, look at that head there. I'm guessing 1/6 scale. Because there's so much detail and brushing and all kinds of stuff going on there. I would have thought that's going to be difficult to do at 1/12. You want a bigger canvas with which to put all these details on. So that Prowl, man, he looks super pretty. You're going to get yourselves over to Singapore Toy Fair. But if you can't, then I'm here with vague information on Facebook and then on YouTube as well. I'm just, wherever you go, you're going to get vague information from me. That's the takeaway from this. Premium Collectible Studios, who made the Ghostbusters figure earlier, are also doing a range of Street Fighter statues in 1/10 scale. And this is kind of interesting. I like this. They're coming in pairs. Alright, and it's $225 each, 1/10 scale, so slightly bigger than your average Marvel Legend size. And they're based on the Street Fighter Jam image from Udon. So this is basically, it's a very famous poster that just depicts all the classic Street Fighter characters looking like badasses. And these statues recreate that poster. And I really dig that. So you got Ryu and Dan here, and just the style looks really cool. They've totally recreated the udon poster. And now the more I talk about it, the more I really would love to have that poster actually. That'd be great. Have that like on a canvas or something. Ah, dang it. I'm getting terrible ideas of things that I don't need to spend my money on. So you can see Blanca and do you say Blanca or Blanca? It's like Mario and Mario. There's always one of those ones that differs between your region. I used to say Blanca. Now I'm a bit of a snob. I think I say Blanca. Regardless, it's a nice looking size. And yeah, they're expensive, but people who buy statues, y'all got some spending money on you because they don't mind charging a lot. And often, if you appreciate the nuances of what goes into a statue, you can see it's worth it. I'm a big Bison fan. He's one of my favorite villains, and Rolento is one of the lesser loved Street Fighter characters, but still he's got his fans there. So those two guys work together. You've got Akuma and Dalsim as well, and you can see in this image here, you got the Jam poster underneath, so you can see what else is coming out as well. These are going to be shipping towards the end of this year, early next year. It says sort of like November this year to early 2024, and yeah, if you had all of these together, well, first of all, that would cost a lot. But hey, if you do, more power to you. I'd love to see that collection. But yeah, these look really nice. And gang, that does it for Good News for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the show, then you can do over at patreon.com. It's Patreon Pledge Month here at Model Behaviour. So I'm uploading new videos as often as I can do. I started at the start of this month. I thought I'm going to do a new video every day. And then I realized, no, that's not physically possible, but I'm doing my best. And the next video that's going to go up is a review of the Snail Shell Wolf Assassin, who, whew, that's an amazing figure right there. And after that, we're going to do the Kraken 1/12 scale figure, which is my first fully silicone body figure. And that's some badass action figure. Spoiler alert. I love them both. But gang, if you're here watching on YouTube, then thank you so much for your support. If you want to smash that like button, as they say, I hate myself for even using the word smash because it's such a cliche, but nonetheless, if you could gently press the like button, I'd be very grateful. And gang, until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee.